Evening all, how you doing? Two great stories to cover today, accurately documenting the now tightening vice-like grip that Starmer's puppets have got over the British public. You do live in a police state. The last couple of months has proved it beyond any doubt, and you're just going to have to like it or lump it. The first one was brought to my attention by Lotus Eaters, and it was unbelievable. There was a couple of novice mistakes made by the people involved, however, and I'm going to tell you how you should be dealing with the police if you are unlucky enough to ever be visited by them. I'll give you a clue though. Get a very heavy front door and put some big rusty iron bolts on it. Right then, brilliant stories today to cover, two of them which will curl your toes and, well, probably would have shocked you a year ago. Now, you just resign to it. When they're locking up 52-year-old women for having a pop at dinghy divers and they're letting out convicted murderers to make room for the old ladies, you know you're in serious trouble. We know where the priorities lie for the Home Office, the Prime Minister and the police, and they do not lie with protecting the public. That's for damn sure. First one, let's have a look. Harry Miller at Faircop reported this one. Breaking, a 19-year-old woman was visited by anti-terrorist units from Merseyside Police. They asked her about her politics, if she is right-wing, and why she had an Anglo-Saxon replica helmet in the house. They also refused to say what she was accused of. They stole property, let's not use the word confiscated. They robbed her and then advised her, bite your tongue before talking online. You know what? There is a term for this type of thing. And the amusing thing is, if you were to use it in front of an actual police officer, they'd have no idea what you're talking about because they're all complete lackwits at this point. Thought police. They are the literal thought police. You know me, I don't like to overuse the term literally, but they are. If you're having a go at people and you're saying, what are your politics? What do you think about the correct way to run the world? You are the literal thought police. So that's what you've got to deal with in the UK now. And secondly, they basically burgle you. That confiscation. A 60-year-old father had a decorative samurai sword adorning the wall, and as soon as she let them in and they clocked it, they went, we're having that. They're basically burglars, but they wear nice uniforms. Yeah, when we were kids, it was a black mask and a stripy sweater. Now they wear a police uniform and they burgle you. I'd be like, here mate, might as well check the telly while you're at it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just randomly seeing items on your walls and going, we're having them. What law did she break? You're going to take the flat screen in the fridge while you're at it? Mr. Thought Rosa. Is that what you're going to do? Because it sounds like that's what you're doing. Burgling the law-abiding citizenry. Unbelievable. They still haven't told her what she did. Apparently she watches the Lotus Eaters, so I think we could all expect a visit at some point. I'm only glad that I was fortunate enough to seek asylum as a political refugee out here in California. And if Merseyside police want to pop round my house and ask me my opinion on things, I mean, they don't need to. They can watch my channel. What have I got now? About 1,200 videos up. You can see exactly what I think. You can watch 1,000 hours of content, if you like. And I'm pretty certain now that they're operating off, show me the man, I'll find you the crime, Orwellian thought policing tactics, I'm sure there's something on there that decide was illegal. But I'll leave it up to the viewing public and their own conscience to decide if they honestly think that a bloke who makes comical quips about the state of the maniacs that run the world these days is actually worthy of a jail cell. Well, you tell me. They can gulag me all they like. I told you, I'm so chippy and northern. I'd rather be right than happy. I'd have a semi on 24 hours a day if they locked me up for making jokes and having opinions they don't like. But anyway, moving on. Here's another good one sent to me by one of my followers on Twitter. From Concerned Citizen, British police intimidate and harass a man for wanting to film his friend in a race. Filming your friend in a race? You can't do that. This is Starmer's Britain. You stand where we tell you, son. That's how it works in 2024. Stand where we tell you, stick your thumb up your arse and shut your yap. Because that's what we're allowed to do if you've got a Loomy jacket and a tit helmet on.
You keep moving over the bridge, please, sir, either direction.
Can that stand here?
You can't, no, sorry.
Oh, could you step back a little bit, please?
Absolutely, if you can move on, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a good view from there, so I think I'll probably just stay here for a little bit until I can see the person that I want to see.
I'm sorry, that's not an option. Okay?
Okay, if I stay here, what's going to happen?
Well, we don't need to go down that road necessarily.
I'm going to stay here and wait for the person that I want to see, so...
And you can't really give me a justification of why you
Because
are
I
different,
want to.
of why you are different to those other people.
We are in public,
I
on a
appreciate
public
that.
footpath.
However,
I'm going to stand here. I'll do you a favour. I'll move to where this person in the purple joggers is. But I'm not going to go anywhere further. Ridiculous.
I've asked you many times, very politely, to move on.
Yes. And I've refused.
Okay. In which case, we'll have to potentially go down a different avenue, won't we?
And what will that be? Are you going to arrest me?
I might have to arrest you, sir, yes.
For what? What are the
Um,
grounds?
Obstruction of the highway.
Obstruction of the highway.
Yeah.
This public footpath.
Yeah.
I love that. Obstruction of the highway. There's like pensioners and old ladies and people stood there with Yorkshire Terriers just standing there in the rain. He's like, oh, obstruction of the highway. They can find anything, can't they? This is what I'm saying. Trumped up charges. It's all a farce. It's what they're doing with Trump now. Now they're all going like, oh, he's a felon. It's like, listen, if you're just going to pull laws out your arse willy-nilly, then we're all felons, aren't we? This is why, when you're living in an authoritarian hellscape, everything quickly goes to shit because words don't mean anything anymore. I'll tell you a good analogy. It's like the way they've changed certain elements of the canon in these new woke TV shows like The Lord of the Rings. They make one little change, but they think it's just a little change. But then it's like ripples in a pond, and it ruins everything because it changes everything further down the line from it. And the next thing, you don't know where you are, and you've got to rewrite everything, or else you've contradicted 600 different elements of the source material. That's what the lawfare of the commie tyrant has basically done. In this day and age, up is down and left is right. Nobody knows what's going on because if you just make everything illegal, then nothing is really illegal. And on paper, everyone's a felon. Trumpy, Ian Huntley, the guy standing on the pavement, they're all in the same boat. It's just laughable. Obstructing a highway. There's a group of 6,000 people running down the middle of the highway and there's 200 standing on the pavement. You weak-chinned, sparrow-boned soy boy, you can grow your beard as long as you want, mate. You have got a glass jaw. You've got bones like a songbird, mate. That's why you wanted to be a copper, isn't it? Because you got picked on by the normal kids who played football and had a tab behind the bike sheds. And then you thought, what I'll do is I'll join the force and then I'll be a copper that's as bent as Elton John's wanger and accost people standing around minding their own business because it makes me feel good. Yeah, his trousers will have been half-mast while he was doing that one because he was tent-pegging them. These people are beneath contempt. Anyway, so to sum up, I promised you some advice, didn't I, before I left? Essentially, don't talk to them. Don't talk to them. Make them arrest you. Make them do everything the hard way. And then always be polite, always be reasonable, and then get a lawyer and do your best to just be a pain up the arse for them. I remember reading the AQ handbook when I was in Afghanistan, and they talk about how economic jihad is a thing. You just try and be as much of a pain up the arse as possible and cost them as much money as you possibly can. It's time for us to start doing the same thing. I've been a law-abiding citizen for 44 years, no criminal record, and as of this day, I will not tolerate or even be remotely reasonable to a police officer. If they want to come in my house for a chat, they're not coming in. I'll step outside, close the door behind me, lock it, and we can have a chat on the doorstep. And if you want to nick me because you don't like me talking, do it. Do it. To quote Captain America, I can do this all day. I can do this all day, lads. Don't let them in. Don't be anything other than cordial. And do not cooperate with them in any way. Make them do everything the hard way. If only because you don't want them to rob you. It's going to start with samurai with decorative swords, and it's going to finish with flat screen TVs. Don't let them in. Don't entertain them. Don't politely go down to the station if they ask you to come down for a chat. Make them arrest you. All right? Easy. Be such a pain up the arse, they would rather be interviewing Abu Hamza. That's the way this has got to start going. Because the Orwellian thought police are not getting the message with all of this polite disagreement, are they? But that's just what I think. I don't like getting burgled. I'm northern. It happens all the time. It's bad enough when you catch a scrawny smackhead curling one out on your kitchen floor. But it's terrible when the agents of the state are doing it, you know? That's just my opinion. You think I'm in the wrong and you should cooperate because if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to hide, then God bless you for your naivety. Please let me know why you think this in the comments based off the last 3 months under the Starmer regime. All right, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. That's me for the day. I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, take it easy. Toodle pip. Cheers.